The 45 administration has announced its unconditional surrender to the COVID-19 pandemic. Basically, they're not going to control a pandemic at all. Um, but basically, it says that 45 has surrendered without ever joining the battle. I have no doubt that he will be remembered as the greatest squatter role failure in American history. 45's sister Marianne Barry has said that he has no principles and he only wants to appeal to his inbred base. Yet his lack of principles is perhaps not the main reason for his surrender today. His remarkable and seemingly boundless stupidity is more than likely the main cause. Um, as Bob Woodward's tapes made perfectly clear, 45 actually knew about the extreme dangers of the epidemic that has so far claimed 230,000 plus U.S. deaths, a toll that rises by more than by around 1,000 a day for each day of 45's inaction. 45's stupidity came into his false belief that the choice before the country was to let the epidemic rage or to shut down the economy, for many reasons perhaps, including the 45's organization's heavy indebtedness, that 45 chose at every moment the economy over trying to stop the spread of the virus. Yet 45's whole premise was deadly wrong. The correct choice was not to stop the economy, but instead to introduce basic public health policies that stop transmission of the virus without shutting the economy and without waiting for vaccines and therapeutics, as desirable as they will be when they arrive. The basic public health policies are known by any first year public health student, and certainly by the Centers for Disease Control, which 45's team disregarded and suppressed. In fact, the basic policies are so well known that they have a name: non pharmaceutical interventions, also known as NPIs. They include rapid testing, contact tracing, safe isolation, face masks, and safe workplace practices. Australia, China, Japan, Korea, New Zealand, Taiwan, and Vietnam have all largely suppressed the pandemic without ongoing shutdowns. 45 surrendered himself with fools and not surrendered. He surrounded himself with fools and knaves who echoed his false belief that the choice was COVID versus the economy. This includes three types of advisors who led 45 to his likely imminent political demise and to our nation's mass suffering. The first group are the evangelical preachers who were more interested in packing their pews than in saving their parishioners who caught the disease in their mega churches. This is a key part of 45's inbred base. Its leaders helped lead 45 to calamity. The second group was the Murdoch media empire with the thought leadership, if one can call it that, of the Wall Street Journal editorial board and the nihilism of faux news. What is incredible about the Wall Street Journal editorial board is that they were so fixated against closing the economy that they failed to give serious consideration to the NPIs. Despite their proven success in the Asia Pacific as a result, the journal's editors overlooked the most effective policy approach and thereby helped steer 45 to disaster. The third group was those who would stand up and oppose the overwhelming scientific consensus and NPIs, thereby bolstering 45 in his conviction to do nothing. The recent pseudo the recent pseudo-scientific advice of Dr. Scott Atlas, who's a who's from Stanford University's conservative Hoover Institution, provided the simulacrum of academic approval to the White House to do nothing position by calling it herd immunity, a position roundly rejected by the public health community. 45 may have surrendered, but the overwhelming majority of Americans have not. We'd rather apply the spirit of Winston Churchill's wartime determination to our battle against the virus, declaring that we will fight the pandemic on the main beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds, we shall fight in the fields and in the streets, and we shall fight in the hills, and we shall never surrender. We are ready to wear face masks, to be tested, to socially distance, to self-isolate when necessary, and to keep our offices and shops safe from the public. We want to save our parents, siblings, children's friends, and fellow Americans from a killer disease that not only claims lives but can lead to what they call long-term grave disabilities, including cognitive disorders for many who survived the infection. God, imaginary God, help us vote and to count the ballots honestly. If Americans turn out in large numbers and vote based on the attitudes that they're expressing daily to posters, we will have a new president and a new lease on life very soon. In the interim, Our governors and mayors should step up their efforts to suppress the virus until a decent, sane, and competent federal government arrives under Joe Biden's leadership on January 20th. So if you like the video, give the video a like and subscribe to my channel, Random Mike, and also hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when a new video comes out, and thanks for listening.